It is Wednesday, July 12th. Oh man, we are already halfway through with July. It was just the 4th of July, and where's the time going? It's going so fast. However, you know, back by popular demand. The conversation with housing concerns with Bremerton Housing Authority and KCR. We don't have KCR today, but we do have Bremerton Housing Authority. And as such, who do we have? We have the one, the only, the awesome Katie Sharp. Let's go ahead and give her a and applause. Hola.
So Jill's going to join us. I think you might see that we're wearing the same shirt. Today was our employee appreciation event. It was really fun.
Does it have words on there? You must show.
Let's see. It says Bremerton Housing Authority, and then it says focus on the good.
Ah, okay. So part of that strategic
yes, planning? Our strategy. Yes.
Yeah. That you shared last time you guys were on the show.
I hope it was sooner than that, but probably, yes. It was. It's been a long time, Marwan.
Well, we've been super busy, so we should probably let folks know we're not going to do weekly shows now. As you know, every third Wednesday is the Kids Up Housing and Homeless Coalition meeting that airs at 2 p.m. on the Conduit. And then so we'll try to get together on the second Wednesday at 3 p.m. if the stars align, right? It's super busy time, lots going on. And so we will do our best to at least try to convene at least once a month to give updates and say, hey, this is what's going on so you can see our face.
Well, I think last time we talked, Lori came on. We were talking about the landlord event. And then Marwan and your team came and did a little interviews with everyone there, and lots of landlords came to get resources. I thought it was a really nice time at KCR.
And that aired live, Katie.
I know.
That was a live broadcast. Yeah.
I know. I hope that I think we got a nice turnout, and it was just really nice because we didn't do a formal presentation. It was just resource booths, but we found that every landlord has very specific, scenarios that they want questions answered. So it was really nice so they can go to like Fair Housing, Bremerton Housing Authority, KCR, which KCR was there in threefold. There was the Housing Solutions Center, housing programs, and weatherization. And like utilities subsidy, I think, or assistance. So it's just nice to be able to see them all in one room, to know that there's differences, even with the same organization. So I thought it went well. What did you think, Marwan?
Well, not only did I think it went well, but you had folks at the table that I hadn't met before, and I can't remember her name. She was sitting to the right of us. Can you tell me who she was?
Her name was Carolyn from Fair Housing Center of Washington.
Yes. So she had a lot of good information. I had to leave before we got to interview the inspector for the Bremerton Housing Authority?
Yeah.
So I didn't get to hear that. But he was there, and I thought that was great because that was a new voice that hadn't been on the Conduit to kind of share his perspective and ideas there. And so I'm always really excited. One, you have to give information over and over again because you don't know who's listening and who didn't get it before, or how they hear it, like watching a good movie over. You see something and you hear something different. But then two, bringing new voices to the table that haven't been there before. And it's like, oh man, I had no idea. Oh, that's awesome. So let me share this information out. So yeah, it was definitely really good.
I thought it was a great approach. It was kind of unique to, again, not have a formal presentation, just make it a resource fair because we want to value everybody's time, but also they want to go right up to the inspector and say, hey, this is happening with my tenant. What should I do? Or what is an inspection like? There's just a range of experience with the different programs too. So to have them all there at once to have your questions answered. I would love to see, if we want to like get more landlords into the program, like a specific one just for new landlords, then we would have a presentation, or, make it annual where we're always doing this kind of resource fair. And hopefully more landlords come and bring more questions. So.
And it was probably helpful too, to like not put the landlords on the spot where they're like on a panel and
Oh, yes.
feel a little anxious. Like, okay, I want to be here, but this got scary.
No, we just appreciate their time and all the things that they do. And it was actually really helpful because other community partners came that we didn't know about, that they left their resource. They said, next time, call me and I want to be part of this event. Um, and it's just nice to get out there in the community and know that this is a need, and that it just encourages us to do more.
So it sounds like maybe there was a conversation and that this is going to happen again.
I think technically, I may be wrong, but I think it's a requirement of both the Housing Solution Center for the funding and BHA to do some sort of landlord outreach.
Oh,
It
okay.
was nice to do this. This is the first time we've done it as a partnership, but I think it was really successful, and I think we will do it again in person. Especially with COVID, we did one I think virtually, but just to get back in person and have these conversations is really important.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the chat. This was the landlord. How did we frame this? Landlord.
I didn't say it's a resource fair.
Okay. Resource fair. All right. So the link is here in the chat. If you did miss it and you want to check it out, you can just click on that link and it will take you right there. And all the interviews were there. Just really good information.
Thank you. And I'm so glad you were able to make it.
So it has been a minute and I'm rubbing my hands together. What you got for us?
With all my work at I'm on the executive team of the Kids Out Housing Homelessness Coalition. Earlier just mentioned that Carl Borg is now the what is he, program manager of the Housing and Homelessness Division in Kitsap County?
I think that is the title. Yes, I know it's a big title there.
It's the new Kirsten.
Yes, which is really exciting because big positions like that can take a while to fill. And so I'm also glad to see that it was filled by someone who knows Kitsap, who's local. So that helps. So that I think that learning curve will be not quite as steep. And then being the executive director of United Way, kind of working with diverse populations is also helpful in that transition. So I'm excited to hear about that. And I'm looking forward to hopefully having him on the conduit and talking about his new position.
Yeah, he was the CEO of the United Way. I think that was the term, or executive director, but he's worked with so many organizations. I'm excited to get to know him as well and what he can bring to. It's a really successful department that was built up. I think it's a division of human services at Kitsap County. And so I know there's a lot of learning to do, but it's exciting. You mentioned there's an article that was in the Kitsap Sun about
it was in the Kitsap Sun. So I'm going to show this because this was the title that you had just shared. The Housing and Homeless Division Manager, Kitsap County Department of Human Services. And now I will change Kirsten's name off.
Yes.
I won't have an email yet, although I'm assuming it's probably cborg@kitsap.gov.
It's
probably what that is.
Borg, I think.
CC Borg?
CE as in echo. Yes. Yeah, so
okay, CE Borg.
But I haven't heard from Kirsten in a while. I know she's really busy, but I would love to have her on again too, because she is working at the Department of Commerce now in a new role. So I'm excited to hear how she's doing as well.
I know, and we did talk about reaching out to her and having her come in and check in with us too, which would be awesome. Well, without further ado, let me go ahead and take this off the screen here. We have the executive director of the Bremerton Housing Authority, Jill Stanton, with us. Let's go ahead and bring her on up.
Hi.
Whoa, there's a lot of applause there for you, Jill. How you doing, Jill?
Good. How are you, Marwan? It's been a long time.
I know I'm doing fantastic. I'm feeling kind of, like I'm left out. One of these kids is doing his own thing. Come on, can you tell which one?
I know. No kidding. Right. Well, just so you know, Katie might have already shared, but we had our employee appreciation event, and we gave out T-shirts of all these different colors, and then we divided into teams and played games. And just on a side note, the green team were the champions.
Even though she wasn't actually playing the game.
I wasn't playing. They didn't need me. They didn't need me. They did it without me.
So are all the shirts green, or are
So,
there?
do you want to see a picture, Marwan?
Yeah,
Let me
yes,
see.
please.
Yeah, I don't think Jill's seen the full picture. Let me see.
And did you show him the back? I think we should have turned around and done the backs.
I have a lot of pictures of the back though too. Let me see.
Good.
Okay, so let's see. I'm never good at the sharing thing on Restream, but we're gonna try. Okay, this
Tell
one's
me there's purple versions.
I can turn around and show you the back.
Nice, nice.
Okay, so let me see if I can share. Chrome tab window. There we go. Okay. Entire screen. That will help me. Okay. Just gotta pick my options. Okay.
There it is.
Yeah.
There we
Yes.
are.
Wow.
Look at that. Like all the colors. We had 4 colors to match our focus on the good strategic plan, and nice background there. That was earlier today. So
You do have purple.
We do have
Oh, I think we might have a purple one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was really fun. And I think it's really such a testament to this, all the staff that came out. I don't even know how many were there, but it was a lot. And people were happy to be there. And they were excited about the work that we're doing and that they're doing. And we had 3 of our board members there, and they all got up and spoke. And so it was just a really, really fun event. And gosh, I mean, are we doing updates?
Yes, they're just having a nice conversation.
Okay. I was just thinking I could kind of go through some of the list that we shared with the staff today of what BHA has been working on over the past year. And it's when we actually write it down and then talk about it, it's a lot. We've been busy.
Well, I'm all ears.
All right. But some of it I might need to give a little description, but the first thing is we've been really concentrating on our technology and making sure that we are secure from cyber threats, or at least addressing that. And part of what our board had asked us to do was migrate to the cloud. And so we got our hugest database that we store everything in. It's called OnBase. And we've had it on an on-premise server for many, many years. And we migrated that entire system to the cloud.
Wow.
Which was a full agency effort, a huge effort. Our contract management services that does the multifamily side of housing reviews for HUD, kind of as a third-party administrator, and we do that in 3 states, right? Or we did it in 3 states, and that has been a very important part of our business because the money that we have made. So private companies do this, housing authorities do this, state finance commission agencies do this, and you make a profit if you do it right. And we have consistently made a profit, and we're very good at this work. Well, we won a 4th state this year, so we are now doing all of Missouri.
What?
Yeah.
One of the tasks, which is the biggest task, which is auditing the Missouri properties. But yeah.
And we're constantly under this scrutiny of HUD, and there's threat of HUD that we're going to have to rebid on the work that we currently do. And so we've been preparing for years for this rebid situation, and just winning that Missouri contract gives us that experience of we know we can go in competitively and bid for this work and be successful. So it was a huge thing. You'll like this one, Marwan. We used all of our emergency housing vouchers. We did it, and we had until September. And we made it early. We're in July. We got them all issued. They're almost all leased. Their last 2 are in the very last stages of being leased. So
that's huge.
Huge. We got more foster youth to independence vouchers, so we're up to 23 now. And then we just were awarded 9 stabilization vouchers that we're going to be mostly project basing in partnership with different agencies that provide health services to clients. And that's in direct alignment with HUD's goals. So we're super excited about that partnership. Katie will have to talk about this one, but the contract management services, they went through this in-depth process to get what's called an ISO certification, which also gets us to this place of being a better competitor, but also just makes us streamlined and efficient. And it's something we want to roll out through the whole agency. And we passed with flying colors on our first audit. So that was amazing.
And that ISO 9001 just proves that we are risk-based thinkers, and we have a quality management system in place and lots of documentation. And we already had it. We just had to create the ISO 9001 framework. And so it's exciting to have this really proven model of doing business, and that we can take that model and push it throughout the agency.
Yeah.
And folks that have gone through an audit know how much work that is.
Absolutely. And speaking of audits, we just had our annual state audit and our CMS annual compliance review audits, and both came out completely clean, no findings, no nothing. We're good. We're great.
Oh, another award.
It was always oh dear Lord, but we did it. So we're happy about that.
So you're doing all of this simultaneously. Wow.
We partnered with 10, we issued project-based vouchers to at least 10 different agencies throughout Kitsap County. And they're all at various stages of implementing that. But it was just a great way to use our vouchers and to spread them across the county. So that felt amazing. We talked about cybersecurity. We've implemented a cybersecurity training program, participated with you there with all of them, Marwan, and various resource fairs throughout the community, tried to make sure our presence was known, and we're there to support the people that we serve and the people we want to serve. This is one of my favorites. So the Shelton Veterans Village that has been planned in Shelton for a long time. And when I came on board, our board really wanted to do this, but we were struggling with the voucher program. There's a lot of struggles. The ribbon cutting ceremony is next week, and 30 veterans will be housed with BHA vouchers.
In Shelton.
In Shelton.
Wow.
Yes. Our
Okay.
vouchers go anywhere in Mason County, but Mason County needs to get some love, right? We got to do this. So so that was one of the holdups, but we made it through. So yeah, they're going to be housed, and that's very exciting. We've talked about this in the past too, but the county, in partnership with the city, are funding BHA with a 3-year grant for a position for a housing navigator to help our vouchers get leased. I mean, and it's that's incredible because we don't have the money for that, but we have the need, and they're seeing okay, well, maybe we do have the money for that, and we should invest it in that, because you're not utilizing your vouchers if you don't have anybody to help the voucher holders.
Yep.
So it's huge. It's that what I love about that story is that we knew our vouchers were underutilized, and it wasn't just the housing authority that took on this goal of utilizing our vouchers. Our community, and not just with this, but different community partners also said, no, we're going to help you with this too. Okay, now we know. We had no idea that you had these 600 vouchers. We didn't know that. We didn't know what all of the struggles were and the barriers were. And we're going to help you with this, to the point of funding us, $600,000 to do it. That's huge.
Yeah, that is.
So, and then this is exciting. We went back and looked at our numbers, which we do a lot, but I looked back from 1 year ago to today. We have 130 more vouchers leased up in Kitsap County.
Wow.
130. And of course, I went right to what does that mean financially? And financially, it's pretty impressive. It means we are spending $400,000 more a month, which equates to $4.8 million annually that we are bringing in to our community from the federal government that we weren't bringing in before, because of all the work on the fair market rents, all the work on voucher utilization, all the work on getting landlords, all of that stuff equates to over $4 million of federal money coming into Kitsap County and going to private landlords. It goes to us and other, other nonprofits that do housing, but it flows through the community. And so that was great. And then what I should have pointed out, and I did not, but one of our board members did, is that 130 vouchers, what does that really mean in terms of people? Because a voucher can serve a family, and so we don't know, because I didn't do that math, but it's probably well over 200. It could be 300, we don't know, but it's up there. So we'll have to get those numbers. But so it's people, we're serving a lot of people.
Well, if you said 2 per household, that'd be 260, and some households will have 3 or 4. So yeah, very likely to be over 300 people housed.
Yeah.
Which is new.
New.
Man, that's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
So all right, before you tell me any more, the way you have to do it is you have to say, but wait, there's more.
Okay. But wait, there's more. But we're down to the last 2. So, and the last 2 are really internal things, but they're important. And one is that some of our departments have been struggling. They've just been struggling, and there's a backlog of work, and there has been for a long time. And we need more efficiency, and we need better technology. And what we did this year is we asked our whole agency to look at those departments that are struggling and to help. And CMS stepped in to help our housing department. The business solutions team stepped in to help our maintenance department, of all things. And so we looked at these struggling units. We said, okay, where can we help to deal with this backlog and to create better processes moving forward, and to ensure that we as a full agency all get to the place where, as Katie would say, we can focus on the good. Because when you are bogged down and feeling all alone, it's a terrible feeling. You don't even want to come to work. But when your neighbor can come beside you and say, you know what, give me that file, I can do this for you. Or Tim says, wait, let me help you organize how to do maintenance work, because you're kind of doing it in a way that you're failing, and you don't need to be. You're making it harder for yourself. And as a result of bringing in people that are, really good at lean work and efficiencies, in the last few months, we turned 40 units. And so we're lowering our vacancies. And yeah, so that was an internal, really great thing to point out. And then the other thing is, we've had 28 internal promotions this year.
Wow.
We only have 100 employees. So
yeah, that's a third, basically.
Yeah. And so then but wait, there's more. So
that's what I'm talking about.
We said, we're going to end on this note. Like, if you work for BHA and you have ever had a promotion, raise your hand, stand up, we want to recognize you. And it's like, we can't even count how many, because so many of our employees do stay, and they do, they do develop professionally, and we want to invest in that and keep them and promote them. So yeah, so that was our employee appreciation event, and we're feeling really good. There's a lot more to do. We got a lot on our plates. We have big goals, and we know that we are uniquely fit to meet the need of affordable housing, and how we use our resources to do that is a big question. But we're feeling confident that we're going to be a part of that scene here in Bremerton and Kitsap well into the future. So, and Katie, what?
I love that all their updates, and I really appreciated that the executive team really took on this event. In the past, our appreciation events have been put together by employees, and so it was a different feeling today to know that everything was created based on like you all working together, and to make that something fun and exciting for us. So it's the first one in a long time that I didn't have to be part of. So everybody kept asking me, and I said, I don't know. I'm just here to participate. It was really fun, and I really enjoyed seeing everybody in person. I think everybody does, and it's almost like everybody leaves like, how can we do this more? but everybody works in their homes or in different states. It's nice that we have this flexibility of where and when people work, but it is really hard to get people together. So I was happy to know that so many people showed up today.
That's huge. Well, let me say congratulations on, promoting from within on such high percentages. Uh, if I do a job post and I say, "Hey, Bremerton Housing Authority is hiring," keep in mind there's a lot of promotion from within.
Yeah.
But if I may, let me just give you an applause. Well done, well done, well done. It's only been, I think, a month since you've been on before, and there were so many updates. Is there some kind of a bullet pointed, "Hey, this is what we've done," a brag sheet of the accomplishments? Because, this is a lot.
I just wrote this for today's event, but now I think that, I try to write a website message every few months and I'm behind, but I think that this is probably what's going to go into the website message. So that it is out there for the public to see. We really are doing stuff. And it's hard because what we also know and want to acknowledge is that it's hard to get a hold of us. Our voucher holders struggle. They want to move, they call, and we can't prioritize moves right now because we have to prioritize new leases. And, so we know that our customer service is not where it needs to be. And we want people to see, in spite of those struggles, we are still accomplishing things. And I think accomplishing the fact that 130 new vouchers are released in a year is something that the public needs to know. This may be why we can't get to your move right now. Not that we know we need to. We got to get better at it, and we're trying. But we are accomplishing things. So that's where I would say that we would post that information.
And we are seeing changes in. We just got a 5-star review on Google about how our front desk was so helpful. And to take time out of your day to make a negative review is sometimes easier than make a positive one. So somebody made that strong of impact on them. It was just about turning in paperwork, but it's really important for us. And we are seeing the changes because of the things that we are focusing on internally, helping each other. Again, making sure that we're celebrating the good things that are happening because it doesn't happen fast. So.
And I think. Go ahead, Joe.
Well, I was just curious about you running for city council and what your platform, because I know housing's up there.
It is. My campaign launch party is tomorrow at 6 at the Marvin Williams Center. I think I've reached out to everyone.
Yeah.
If I haven't, you are definitely invited. I also mentioned that at Kitsap Mesa Redonda's meeting this morning at 8:30. Yes, housing and homelessness is one of my main ones. Transportation equity is another one. Education and jobs, and then healthcare are my 4 big platforms. So those things are really important to me. I work on many of them already, and impacted by all of them. And I think, our city, our county for sure. I know it's just, city council. I won't say just city council, but, I think city, but I also think county-wide. And these are huge issues, and especially coming through COVID, there's a lot of lessons that we needed to learn from that, and we have to solve our own problems and be as innovative and, take looks at ourselves the way the Bremerton Housing Authority has, and then say, "Hey, we can, let's focus on the good, acknowledge what we need to work on." But, what 400,000 a month is a lot of money. $4 million a year is a lot of money coming into the city, into the county. That's huge. So, yes, but long answer. Oh man, I might be a politician. I just went off on a little ramble there. Sorry about that.
You sound the part, but you also though, let me tell you, you sound very authentic.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and that's an important thing that I think a lot of politicians miss, is that's important to people.
Well, I think the difference with me from a lot of people is I'm doing the work already, right? That I want to do and trying to make the change. So it's not like, "Hey, elect me so I can do these things." It's like I want to do them more. I want to, invoke change and do policy and change laws and just really make more of an impact, while being in the trenches simultaneously. So, and I think I
Absolutely.
can.
I think you can too. I'm excited. I'm excited to see where this goes.
Oh, well,
You
thank you.
you missed the last podcast. Lori and I were on talking about the landlord event, but also we started interviewing Marwan.
And I wasn't ready. Like, do
We
you
were so
have this? Do you have
interested
that? I
in
was like,
yeah. So now
How
you're
did it
ready.
do?
Now you're ready, Marwan. But
Yes, I am more ready now. Well, like I said, the campaign launch party is tomorrow at the Marvin Williams Center at 6 p.m. So I'm getting better. I have a campaign manager now, so
Okay.
that helps a lot. And yeah, I appreciate everyone's
what
support.
I, what I was sharing though, and I like to reiterate this, is that you're already the voice of the people. When you get into that seat in council, really hearing and understanding what the people want, not necessarily Marwan, you're already doing that. You're so good at
Yeah.
being the conduit and the voice.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I don't even know if is there anybody running against you?
I do have one person running against me, and also another great person. And so, people have a good choice. But I think you should vote for me.
Right, right. I haven't heard who's you don't have to tell me. I'm sure I'll find out. But I've only heard of you running. So
Oh no, I don't mind it. Her name is Jane Robolowski, and she comes to city council a lot and
She's very
advocates.
active and
Mhm.
really shares the same interests, I think, as you, Marwan.
Yep.
okay.
Yep. Yeah, it's a very different campaign for me, so I'm not throwing anyone under the bus. Very supportive, and that is what it is. But it sounds like I have an endorsement. Is that true, lady?
I can't give endorsements as part of my
No,
job
as an individual.
as an individual. Yeah, and I'm not in. I don't think I can vote here either because you have to live here, right?
Yes,
And
Yeah,
live in your
you have to be
district.
the
in the
district.
district, but that's okay. That's big. An endorsement from Jill Stanley and
How many
Katie
people
Strauss.
are in your district, Marwan?
I think over 1,000 for sure.
Okay. So that's not too
Yeah.
huge of a number. You should be able to meet all of them.
Well, I am going to take after the good Mayor Wheeler and get to walking around and door knocking and all that stuff. I'll probably start in the middle of next month and start doing that. So super, super looking forward to that. So
You have a
Me
little
too.
more time. No primary, so a little more time.
yes, have a little bit more
Okay.
time, which I need. So yes, for sure. But yeah, super excited about that. And man, you guys, what a lot of work in 1 month's time. No wonder why you've been so busy.
Well, that's 1 year, but yeah,
But
still,
still, one
still,
year is
yeah.
huge, right?
It's. I know. I was telling Katie, it's like there's been a lot of challenges this year, just personally, even, and one of the board members said, calm down, Jill. You don't have to do something exceptional every year. It's okay. Just take a down year, work on the vouchers, whatever. But we don't calm down, and we don't. And so, but I was thinking, gosh, what have we done? And then I just start writing it out, and I'm like, man, even in the time that I had to be off work or to take care of my health, this team kept going. There was no
Mhm,
downtime. They were
mhm.
just like, yeah, okay, next man up, next woman up in this in this agency. And they were like, keep it going. We got stuff to do and nobody's missing a beat around here. And yeah, one of the things I love about this organization and the team that we're building is that we're really building on our own strengths. And so if there's something that, even if it is a strength, but it sucks your energy, you don't enjoy it, we try to make sure that we assign the roles and responsibilities according to those strengths without feeling insecure about ourselves or like, oh, I really should be better at that because maybe you're not. And be good with that. Like, own what you're good at and be confident enough to let somebody else do what they're good at. And just as like a small example of this playing out at the employee event, of course I have to do the speech, right? I'm the
Mhm.
executive director. I have to do the speech. That's just it's not my favorite thing to do, but I have to do it and I want to do it. But that doesn't mean that I have to be center role throughout the whole event. Like I can do the speech and then I can hand it off to the party people who are really good at this and fun and love doing it. It feeds their energy, and so we can have an event that is very well balanced because we all know where our talents are. And we have our executive assistant who plans everything, and she's the first one there and says, she's stressed about it, but she's got it all done, man, and she
Mhm.
enjoyed it. And one thing I learned about her today is she gave the directions for this game that we played. And I was not expecting this, but she kept the microphone. And during the game, she's like announcing, oh, good job to this person, or you got this, and it's just so fun to see her personality in that way that I'd never seen before. Like she's got this talent. And so I don't know. I love that we're building a healthy organization and that people are getting to do work that they love and that gives them joy and energy, and that we're not, spinning our wheels. We're being effective because we're working better and smarter.
And again, Joe, you said, oh well, it's just a year, but when you have CMS, so you understand what's happening in other states, and housing prices and homelessness isn't just an issue here in Kitsap County. This is nationwide. So to bring all that here, all those resources, and have all those achievements, in spite of the rest of the country also struggling, and some faring far worse than we are. Wow. I mean, that just, you know, it's even more so.
Well, yeah, and it's a good thing. I mean, it's when you think about this, one thing that we like to do is really align our strategies with HUD strategies, and HUD's looking at the whole nation, right? And so we're looking at the whole nation too, and how can we be a part of this, and how can we take our successes and be a model for other agencies? And I see that happening in kind of two big ways that I wasn't even expecting, and that's with the Foster Youth Independence Program. We're doing a big marketing video and we're doing a big presentation at a convening session next month where we're presenting to all the other housing authorities in Washington and Oregon what our program has done and how we've been successful with that. And then the other one that is just really kind of, I don't know, makes me happy is this last week we were asked to be a reference to another housing authority in another state that I don't know, I never heard of, but they want to talk to us about the leadership model that we've implemented based on Lencioni's five dysfunctions of a team and working genius. And I mean, I've always wanted to do something like that, to build a leadership team based on an actual model of leadership. And that's what we're doing here. And we're seeing how effective having that effective team from the executive level, and then now we're trying to implement it throughout the agency. But now another agency wants to do it and they want to talk to us about it, and we're feeling like, us, like, you want to talk to us? And then, but we are leaders, like, yeah. Uh-oh, did we lose Marwan? I get so excited.
He maybe turned his camera off. There he is.
No, I'm here. I'm here. You needed more spotlight.
Yes.
But the working genius is what you were just talking about, Jill, is what gives you energy, and really understanding that and saying, I like this, but I can say I don't like something. I'm allowed to do that. It's not like, oh, I have to take it all on. And you see that in all aspects of like working with partners and knowing what your partners are good at, but knowing what we're good at. And we're still figuring it out, but really acknowledging what we do and we don't do, or what really we're just really good at, that, hey, don't worry about it. We can take it on. You don't have to learn about that. We got that. And really understanding that side of how important it is to understand, yourself, your team, your company, and what your strengths are.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, are you gonna take any vacation? Is there any break? A weekend?
I took last week off after the 4th of July. I took that week off. So now I'm here for the summer. I'll take a couple days here and there, but I'm pretty much here in September and October. I'll take some time off, but no, I'm going to be here for the summer. But Katie,
Yeah, I don't take leave a lot. I don't know. It's just,
no, you don't.
I'm a frugal leave taker. So, but I'm taking 3 weeks off. So I'm
Really? So you're going to
excited.
use some of your 5,000 hours you've accrued? Is that what you're saying?
I'm glad it's not that much. Thank you for making me feel better about it, Marlita. It's not that much. But my kids are with their grandparents right now, and then they're going to come back, and we're going to go sailing for 3 weeks, hopefully to the islands. Hopefully we get there, but really the plan is just to go and just be off the grid for
Nice. Nice. Well, you definitely deserve it. Congratulations to the both of you and to BHA, to everyone at BHA. Such great folks over there. I am jealous. I would love to get a purple shirt, that says BHA. I mean, I used to be a part of BHA. I mean, can I get an honorary shirt?
Exactly. That's right. I'll see what we have available. But yes, that's right. You were a part of us. It was super fun to have board members at the event today too. I think it was great. It's like we're all one big happy family now.
And that's huge too, just because the work is hard, right? It's like you're not making candy canes, right? This is really difficult work, and so the more cohesive the team is, and even when you talked about having different departments coming in and saying, "Hey, I can help this department, and I can help that department." I think you were sharing that vehicles were purchased for maintenance, right? They were sharing
Yeah.
one vehicle, and so now there's multiple vehicles, which I actually see all the time on the street, by the way. So
Are
they're
they driving good?
yeah, yep, they're driving
Okay,
good.
good.
So, because there's a BHA house on my street actually, so I see them from time to time, and I see them out in the street. So, just all those awesome things. So,
Great.
for
Yeah,
sure.
that's exciting. How's things going at your agency?
Well, we've I've got some things that we can probably announce here soon if it comes to fruition. So fingers crossed, something G2 has never done, pretty big. But we just finished a grant through DCYF where we were able to give out $35,000 to families and make purchases for things that they needed. Whether it was cleaning supplies or car seats, we were able to help. College students with dorm materials so they can transition into college because it's already expensive to go and then trying to outfit that. So we're able to do all kinds of different things through that grant. So we're super excited about that. So that's the last thing that just happened. I will say a lot of folks know Kendra Witten, who is part of G2. She just graduated from OC and
Oh,
she was the commencement speaker.
what? Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
Yep.
Wow.
And so we hired her because she's a culinary arts major to cater the event tomorrow. So,
Nice.
want
Okay.
to support, I say internally, but support local business, right? You get your
Yeah.
degree, you're charting out on your own, trying to start your own catering company. So we hired her to do the event tomorrow. So some of my favorites will be there, like chocolate mousse and whatnot. So we're proud of
Ooh.
her accomplishments and yeah, just super excited. So I guess that's what's going on with G2.
Okay, that's exciting. That's awesome. Good.
And the conduit, we actually were hired to cover city council events in Seattle,
Oh,
which was
What?
awesome. Yeah.
The
And
Seattle City Council?
yeah, we were covering different districts in Seattle and our rate is 750 an hour and they were, paying us to live broadcast it out in Seattle. So, I did 3 events out there last month, which was really awesome.
That's
So
awesome.
we're
Boy,
kind of growing and people are learning about us outside of Kitsap County.
that's incredible. Those have to be some fun council meetings.
Oh man, seeing as I'm running for city council and it's just me and Jane and watching a panel of 9 and rapid fire questions in 90 seconds and do you agree with this? And you just say yes, no, or waffle. I was like, man, that's pretty intense. And it was centered around transportation equity. So this was just on one topic along that, and just so many issues, around well, I guess it wasn't just transportation equity because some of it was some of the issues with sex work on Aurora out there
Yeah.
on Northeast 130 and whatnot. So very informative. That's where I went to elementary school. So, that's kind of important to me also. So yeah, just really interesting. So we've been pretty busy too.
Wow. Yeah, that's incredible. Congratulations. That's really great. Really great.
I know, and I think we submitted some footage to King 5 News because we were covering the event out in was it North Kitsap? So yeah, it's been kind of a busy early summer, late spring for us.
Wow, that's awesome. Oh, good.
So I was just thinking, okay, so if we're going to close a little early, I wanted to say, I don't know if we are, but I think we had lots of updates today. But I
Yeah.
did want to say that next week's podcast, which happens to be broadcasting the coalition meeting,
Hmm.
I'm your guest host on that meeting. So just
Oh,
letting you know, Lisa can't be there because the library is in their move. They're the downtown Bremerton Library, the chair of the coalition, is she's the branch manager there at the downtown Bremerton Library. So they are busy packing, I think, and moving so they can get their HVAC system all updated, which I hear is going to be until November, which is sad to hear that the library is going to be temporarily closed for that long. But next week, I will be hosting the Kitsap Housing and Homelessness Coalition meeting. And then Kitsap Homes of Compassion will be there to
nice.
present. And we will also hear from Carl Borg, the new program manager at the, it's a long title, the Housing and Homeless Coalition.
Division manager, no, housing and homeless division manager, Kitsap County Department of Human Services.
There you go. 'Cause we just
Yes.
called Kirsten the queen of housing.
Well, we're excited about that. So I hope everybody can join. If you want to put the link again to our website so you can join that Zoom meeting, it's kitsaphhc.org. And then I also want to say that BHA will be at Kitsap Pride on the 22nd.
I'm so curious, Katie. What is your icebreaker going to be?
I didn't look yet, but she calls it a community builder, which I love.
Community.
But I think last time it was about actually your favorite Muppet. But it was such a good conversation about something that we can just connect on that level. And so I always enjoy the meetings. I think they're healthy for all the service providers to come and network and hear from each other and make announcements. We hear really good things from the community there. So I always promote that, and it's a great group.
And there's really good questions that are asked in those spaces because you have a lot of different organizers there. And so they have a different perspective. So I love waiting around to hear what people's questions are. And it's like, oh, I didn't think about that. Or, oh, yeah, I had that question too. So, yeah, it's really
It's just
awesome.
so nice that you record it, Marlon, for the conduit, because something we could always link and reference to. And a lot of people do ask, I can't be there. Is there recording? So it just makes it so easy.
Yes, and I never participate in icebreakers because I'm behind the scenes trying to get it going because I end one podcast and go right into the next one. So, and usually there's always some kind of technical.
Usually there's a council meeting on the third Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, there's council meetings every Wednesday except for the fifth Wednesday. So in an hour and a half, I'll be doing council.
It's a
study session tonight. Yes. So today is my long day. That will be my fourth podcast tonight. So.
I haven't checked the agenda. Is there anything housing related on it?
I think they're going to talk about ML King, which is always important. So I think that's a big one in the ordinance and, where our buildings are down in that area. So, those things affect us.
Have they made any progress on that ordinance, the camping ordinance?
There was public comment last week. And so a lot of folks on both sides, I think this was probably the most full I've ever seen city council. I mean, it was, I think, almost standing room only. I wish they would show the camera on the audience, but I'm broadcasting it there, from where I'm at there, so I can not be in person. But a lot of people on all kinds of sides of the issue weighed in, and so we'll have to wait and see what the ordinance is, and what they decide to do. So.
Will they have public comment again before they actually pass an ordinance, or was this the last?
I think they'll probably have another round of public comment. I would assume. I'm sure they're going to talk about it tonight. It's a big deal, and I'm sure they want to try to get it as right as they can, because it doesn't sound like there's any perfect solution or situation, and folks are going to be impacted regardless of what they end up doing. So, an enviable task that I'm trying to get, which is crazy.
It was so interesting to me because when I went to their first study session on this, I learned something. I went under the impression of we're going to implement an ordinance to deal with camping. That wasn't necessarily it. There's already a no camping for any reason at all ordinance in place, and what the state has said is that's not legal. You have to have parameters. So they're really doing, even though I don't think that they've enforced the camping ordinance, but what they're really working on is something that essentially is less restrictive than what they have now, or gives a reason for the restriction. So it's interesting.
Right. And the folks on the other side of that are feeling like even though technically it will be less restrictive, what's going to happen is that's going to trigger the enforcement and displace those that are
Exactly.
unhoused. So it's a hard situation. And I think, again, it's important that we have conversations like this because, again, people probably are not aware that 160 families were helped that with monies that weren't here before in this last year, right? So that would be another 160 families that would maybe be out on the street or in a car or, in someone else's home or wherever in that kind of space. So that's really a big deal.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
know
it's just,
people kind of feel like, oh, oh, these agencies aren't doing enough. And it's like, that's why you got to focus on the good, right? And share that out so people know it's like, no, we are working as hard as we can and we are making gains.
yeah,
Just we understand the gains are huge right now as we kind of go up together. So we're
absolutely.
doing what we can. So I think there's a real opportunity right now to be more collaborative and find some more spaces to say, okay, we talked about what we can't do. What can we do? What haven't we tried? And who else can be at the table? And really start to be, solution oriented and try to figure this thing out. That's my hope. I'm optimistic.
Well, I will focus on the good. Since you started broadcasting the study sessions, they're really easy to access on the City of Bremerton website now too. So being able to see all those discussions, whether it's a study session or a council meeting, has helped because
Yeah.
this is a difficult topic and you can see a lot of different sides when you listen. So I encourage everybody who doesn't know much about it to watch your videos or go to the council website and see what the City of Bremerton is talking about.
And as a communications manager, Katie, the last thing I'll say is it's so important to have different channels of media. So you can have the paper in print or you can have it, on the internet. But everyone doesn't go to BCAT. And so as packed as it was in city council, there were more than 20 something views, for the live broadcast on my channel alone. So, those folks aren't necessarily going to go to BCAT and watch it. They may never do that, but they watch it because they have some kind of connection to the conduit wherever that is, whether it's KCR, BHA, or covering whatever event. So all those things are really important. So and oftentimes, there's more people. City council has usually a good audience, but it's on par with who actually physically shows up. So it is important for people to have access to this information. And I guess with that, we have made it to almost 4 o'clock. This thing was chock full. One more round of applause for Bremerton Housing Authority and your accomplishments. We thank you for all the work that you continue to do. And man, we hope it's hold my beer. Wait till you see what we do next year.
That's right. I'll try to be there tomorrow night, Marwan.
Well, I appreciate you very much. For Jill Stanton and Katie Sharp, I'm Marwan Cameron. This is The Conduit. We'll see you tonight at 5:30 for study session. All right, everyone. Take care of yourself and take care of each other.